Hello YouTubers, it's Championdjk coming at you again with another weekly update video. I got the microphone right here. I haven't tried it on this front-facing camera situation, so we'll see how that works out. Everything's a little experiment as we go. I don't have time to really try it and then listen to it, so we're just going to go for it. Alright, so anyway, fantastic week for Diecast, alright? First of all, if you watched my previous video, you've seen I had a box from Travis, Heavy Metal 164, and it was filled with some diecast that he had procured for me on my behalf. So that was excellent. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Also did a video on the 10-pack Target throwback series cars. So hopefully you check that out too. And then this week was something kind of special, and I'll get into that in 1 second. First of all, I did also get a bag of cars. This is from a Facebook sale that my buddy Crazy Todd was buying from too, and then I picked out some cars and purchased them, and we just had them shipped together. Since we live very close to each other, it just makes sense to do that. It's pretty sweet. And so I got a bag full of cars. These are all Matchbox, and to be 100% honest, I really don't remember what I picked out. It's been a little while. Long enough that I'm really unsure. So we are going to discover what's inside this bag together. There's a couple of things you can see from the outside. I think there's like 13, 14 cars in here. So we will peek into the bag in the second segment of the video. And then I also got some, before we get into what's really cool is right here. As you can see, you can probably tell from the camera, it's Auto World, and as you can tell, there's some redness going on here. And if you follow me on Instagram, you probably know what I'm going to show you. But that being said, I did pick up some mainline cars. It was pretty much late to the party at Target, but someone was kind enough to at least leave one full set of red editions. So I do got a set of those. We'll go ahead and open up those in the second segment. We'll kind of rip through these Hot Wheels as fast as possible through them. I don't want to spend a lot of time on mainline Hot Wheels just because there's a lot of them, and you guys, I mean, have probably all seen these. There's other channels that focus on Hot Wheels, but I'll just show you kind of what I picked up. We might not even open these in the second segment. I might do the red editions, and that might be it, but maybe some of these other cool ones. So Moon Eyes VW Kafer Racer. This would have been the Super C case. This Corvette Grand Sport Roadster. Of course, I didn't find a Super. And then this Nissan Skyline RS in white. I'll show you that. Kind of go through these quick here. I don't remember. I think I have this one already. It's on a trash card, but I don't know if this was in A cases as well. I don't remember. So that's the trouble. I'm just not. Again, I've just kind of, I don't want to say I've grown out of the main line because I still pick up a bunch. Got these guys. This thing looks pretty cool right there. So this was out of a C case basically at Target. This Volkswagen Golf Mark II actually looks really awesome in that color. That casting is cool. That actually looks really good. And then let's see your Dodge Charger Daytona. Couple Camaro SS in orange. Ford Torino Talladega. This is actually a casting I collect, so that's cool. And then the Honda Civic EF, which would have been super for A cases. So that's a carryover. So got those mainline cars. Okay, we will open them. I'll open them in the second segment. We'll kind of slide them by the camera pretty quickly. Probably do that in the last segment of the video. So if you stick around for that, I guess it's what you like, mainline Hot Wheels, which is fine. I mean, they're cool and everything. It's just I'm getting way more into like the premium stuff, and then like for Hot Wheels, I like vintage stuff is really awesome. There is some new stuff that's cool. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love the car culture line. I love some of the premium stuff. It's just these mainline cars, when I start to look at me having so many of them, it's ridiculous. Like, I have just so many mainline Hot Wheels. I still got a lot that I'm keeping back here that still need to be opened up that I'm going to use for 10 Car Tuesday episodes and the latter. And the like, but it's just, there's so many of them, and I have so many cars in my collection. You got to like narrow it down somehow. And it's just, I'm not as into the mainline stuff as I once was. Okay. A lot of that is just from collecting premium stuff. So blah, 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 blah. All right. My buddy Suresh, man. Okay. I mention him in a lot of videos. I definitely do. But there is an absolutely great reason for it. He just continuously is super generous, and he just hooks up me and my buddy Crazy Todd constantly. Okay. He just does. And he gets really lucky at the pegs. He does. And he has his way with employees and stuff like that. He's a super nice dude. So he gets, people help him, and he's genuinely a really nice person, and he gets rewarded for that. It's not intentional that he gets rewarded for it. He's not doing it with an ulterior motive. It's just who he is, and as a consequence of him being such a super dude, things end up working out for him quite often. All right. Anyway, I got a message from him a while back, okay, saying that he had found this. Okay, this is an Ultra Red Mustang. I was super stoked that he found this, and the reason why I was stoked because I knew he would end up sending it my way, and secondly, this is the last Ultra Red that I need to complete 2018 Premium Release 3. So now I have the entire series. I think I've only opened up one red from that series, so this is the last one I need. So now I can do a series video on this, and open up the remainder of that series. So look out for that video in the future. I'm not going to open up this one in the second segment of the video because I got some other stuff. Okay, and then, I'll save this for last, okay, for just a second. So one other thing that happened, this is not Suresh now, this is Jeremy. So another local person to me located one of these and really didn't want to trade it. He did not want to trade it. And I'm like, come on, man, trade it to me. I offered him a good offer for this. I offered him the pink RLC Batmobile, okay, for one of these. I offered it to him. I'm like, I need that car. I know you're winning out technically in value. I don't care. I want that. He's like, I already have a pink family. I'm like, come on, you want two. You'll be able to trade it. So originally he said no, and then he asked what else I had. I didn't really have much else for trade bait. And then he came back to me and said, you know what? I'll trade it to you. It's fine. So he traded this to me, and I'm really glad to have it. So this one as well, we are not going to open up in the second segment. And the reason why is because I want to wait till I complete this series, and then I will end up opening up all these reds at once, with the exception of, what I'm about to show you here in a second. All right, so Suresh, my buddy, woke up in the morning. He had went out, I think, at like 4 a.m. or whatever. I don't even remember what time it was. But anyway, I woke up in the morning. He had texted me telling me that he had located this. And I was like, dude, you are on fire with these reds. It is unbelievable that you keep finding these. It's like every case of auto roller that he comes across an ultra red. And it just seems like every case I open, I don't get them. I just don't find them. I open up dud cases all the time, and I don't ever find them. He seems to find them all the time. So he found this, and I knew he found this. And then he decided to, so anyway, a couple days ago, this last Sunday, I was working, and he said, hey, I came down, I went and saw, Todd. He went over to Todd's house and gave him a little Christmas gift, and he said he had a Christmas gift for me, and he wanted to give it to me. He had a little something for me. So I'm like, okay, well, that's fantastic. I'm like, I bet you it's this, right? So he comes, and he's got this box full of stuff for me, which is part of it. This is one thing of it. He had some other stuff for some other people in my local meet, because he's going to be out of state for our next local meet. He's not going to be around. Sorry about the story time, guys, but I have to. So anyway, he's like, but I do have a Christmas gift for you. So I look in the box, I mean, and this is in there, and I'm like, okay, well, sweet. And I'm like, well, what could be in the wrapping paper? So I went ahead and opened it up, and it's this. Wow. It's a raw. It is the raw of this. And crazy story is he found these at the same store on the same night. Talk about luck. Both the same casting, right? So both this awesome wagon, one raw, one red. That's just insane. And he just gave that to me for Christmas. That's a sweet dude. And not only that, I mean, he's just like, you know, he's just so genuinely nice. It's not like he's expecting anything great in return. And of course, I'm going to have to try to come up with something for him for Christmas. But he's just so genuinely nice that he just wants, you know, to see it in my collection because he knows, you know, I'm an avid Auto World person. I'm trying to complete the series. And he knew I would go nuts over this thing. And so he showed it to me, you know, I was at work and I'm like, oh, wow. That's, you know, wow. So, give him a big hug, all that good stuff. Anyway, love you, buddy, and really appreciate that. That's just amazing. It's amazing that you found it, for one, and it's even more, it's also amazing that you just decided to give it to me for Christmas. That's just insane. So, that is the second Ultra Raw that he has found this year. The other one was that Mach 1, which I've showed in a previous video. I have not opened that up yet, but in the second segment of this video, we're going to open up both of these. We're going to open up both of these, and we're going to open up the two regulars as well. So the set A and the set B, we're going to open those up in the second segment of the video. So that will be cool. What I think we'll do is we'll go ahead and we're going to open up this raw and this right away, second segment, get that out of the way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go through that Matchbox bag of mystery because I'm not really sure what is all in there. And then we're going to go ahead and we'll look at some Mainline Hot Wheels to come down from this craziness. All right, so without further ado, sorry about all the story time. We're going to go ahead and flip the camera around. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And then let's take a look at this cool stuff. Stay tuned. Okay, ladies and gents, here we go. Let's take a peek at these Buick Estate wagons. This is the second release of the Buick Estate wagon. It showed up in release 3. This is premium release 4 for 2018. These are limited to 4,800. These are available in straight packs to hobby dealers. Which makes the Ultra Red not as rare as a normal one, but that Ultra Raw that we're about to take a look at still is at its steady. Technically, there are 20. Okay, technically, there are 20 of these. I do need to specify. A lot of people think these are limited to 10. Yes, they're limited to 10 if you consider the card a variation, which, me as a loose collector, I don't care about the card. The card's not the variation to me. The variation is the actual casting itself. So same with the Ultra Reds. The Ultra Reds are basically, if you multiply this 4,800 by 2, that's the total number of cars released. 4,800 are going to be on the set A. 4,800 will be on the set B and will be different. Okay, and then the Ultra Red will be the combination of those two numbers, so that multiplied by 2, and 3% of that entire production line will be Ultra Reds. And then Ultra Raws will have 10 on one card and 10 on another card. So sure, they're limited to 10 on each card variation, but really there's no variation in the casting whatsoever. Nothing is varied, not the interior, not anything else about it is different if this would have been found on this card. And the same thing goes with this Ultra Red. If this would have been found on this card, there is no difference in the actual casting. You'll also notice one other quick thing about this series, and note about this series, is the Ultra Reds in this series follow the traits of the version B. You notice how this interior is red. Okay, and then the interior on the set A car is tan. You'll notice the interior on this car is red, and the interior on this car is also red. You'll definitely notice that in the GT40 as well, which I already put the GT40 away, so I apologize, but there's a difference in the number. So the number 40, I think, is on the Gulf version, or the light blue version. The dark blue version has the number 11. I think it's 11. But the Ultra Red has the number 11 on it because it follows the traits of the Set B card. Now, that's not a static thing for all Auto World releases, but they do tend to pick either a version A or version B and then carry those traits over into the chase versions of the car. All right, anyway, a little Auto World education for you, but let's go ahead and get into these vehicles, starting with the version A in sand beige. Notice they actually show the plate on there. It says vacation, so that's pretty cool. Florida plate. Go ahead and get it opened up. Get it out. Of course, I save these boxes, of course, in case these inserts fit perfectly right in them. I'm going to open up the version A and the version B right away, and then we'll take a look at both of them a little closer here. So there's the version B. Okay, take a look at those two. All right, so let's zoom in just a little bit. I'm not going to pull out the macro lens on this video, guys. I did that on the that other video where I showed you some Konami cars and stuff like that. But let's take a look at these. Okay, so you should be able to find these. These should be a little bit easier to find at Walmart's this time around because this series is fairly higher produced than some of the previous ones. But I love the tooling of this. I think it looks great. Maybe could have used a little like wash on this grill to make it look a little better. But it does look really good. There's that Buick. Lots of little printing, lots of little details, as to be expected from my dear brand Auto World. Go ahead and open up the hood maybe. This one's kind of tough. You can kind of see in there. This one opens a lot easier, but still doesn't open up quite all the way. It's got an orange block in there. Here it is in white. So real basic color difference between these. This has that red interior. This has that tan interior. Both have white wall tires. I did find an error of this car. If you watch one of my case unboxings, it has the complete wrong back tire on the back axle. I haven't looked. I should have looked to see if the rim is actually different too. The rim I think is the same, but it might be one from another car. But it's got a larger back tire on it, and it's not a white wall. And I think I've tried to look at both sides, and it looks like it's the same on each side. So that's kind of interesting. So love this wagon casting. It is really cool. It's probably my second favorite. The first one's probably the Kingswood Estate still, and then this would be second, and then that the Country Squire. It's probably takes the last place. But here's the two regular releases. Then let's go ahead and we're going to open up the Ultra Red. So there you go. Looking pretty. So again, 3% of the production line. Go ahead and set that right there. Go ahead and zoom in. Take a closer look at it. Just love that color red, and it actually looks really good with that wood paneling. I think it looks pretty awesome. The red rims look really cool. I like the red rims. I think they look nice. Holiday on the side. This almost looks like a holiday car, and that's going to also share the plate with the Set B. Like I said, it's got the Set B attributes. This does look like a holiday car, I guess, with the white tires. I'm just not a fan of the colored tires. I've mentioned it before. I'll mention it again. Auto roll, cut this out. Just don't do it. In my opinion, okay? Some people may like it, and, obviously, I'm a huge fan of Auto World, and I'm not the only huge fan of Auto World, but I think most of us that really like Auto World, that have been collecting it for a while, aren't a fan of these chase pieces having white tires. The only thing that is cool about them having white tires is my buddy Crazy Todd. Like, if he finds an Ultra with white tires, he's not going to care to keep it because he absolutely hates white tires. He doesn't like any chases that look like crazy, like that. But this does look pretty. It does look pretty awesome. So there's that, and then the Ultra Raw. And I mentioned this before, but when I first became a loose collector, this would have been really hard to do. But now that I am a loose collector, true and through, it's not so difficult any longer. You just open that stuff right up. You know what I'm saying? Life is short. Open your cars. Unless you plan on reselling them anytime soon, go ahead and open them. Really cool. The white tires, again, not a huge fan. The Ultra Raws that were in the last release that had red tires, the Ultra Raws almost had like silver tires to make it look like the Raw, which I think actually looked cooler than these white ones. But I could always do a tire swap. I'm never going to, because I'm still a little bit of a purist about keeping my die-casts the same. I'm not going to customize it unless I'm actually making a custom. But this thing is just awesome. The Raw looks really, really cool with the wood paneling too. Again, it's got holiday in the front and of course the red interior. So just so awesome. And it's a very rare piece. I mean, being only 20 of this actual Raw casting made, it's just, very rare. That's why these things go for buku bucks on eBay. Well, I should say that they don't necessarily go for a lot of money on eBay. I should mention that. People ask for a lot of money for these Raws on eBay. But I think a lot of them don't. A lot of them go unsold. Now, if you ask me, Dave, would you ever spend, $100, $200, $300 sometimes, $400 actually sometimes for some Raws, like the GT40s probably go for like $4. Would you ever do that? And my answer would be absolutely not. I really am cheap when it comes to buying diecast, believe it or not. I really am. I would never spend that kind of money on one car, unless I won the lottery or something. Like if I was a millionaire, I probably still would have diecast collection. And yeah, I would spend a lot of money on it. But in my current financial situation, my sort of average Joe financial situation, I would not. Not at all. But man, these things are cool. These wagons are really cool. Again, thank you so much, Suresh. This would not be possible without you at all. A lot of my collection actually wouldn't be possible without you. You've contributed quite a lot. All right. So there you go, you guys. There is the Buick Estate wagon in a full release with set A, set B, and the Ultra Raw. All right. Next up, we're going to go through this bag. And you know what? The more I think about it, we're at 11 minutes already. I don't know if we're going to really get to those mainline Hot Wheels. But we're going to pull out each one of these one by one and take a peek. Now, I could have made a separate video on this. I really could have. Or I could have held on to it to the next week, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to go ahead and look at these, as I promised, one by one, and we'll kind of be surprised together. So, first thing we get is a Dodge Viper. Coca-Cola. Interesting. Just reading that made me thirsty. I'm not a Coca-Cola fan, though. I'm a Pepsi guy. Big time. I like Mountain Dew. And Coca-Cola is pretty good when paired with Captain Morgan. This thing's got suspension. It's got rubber tires. It's a Matchbox Viper. I collect that casting. So, naturally, I'm happy to add it, and I didn't have it. And these, by the way, these Matchbox I got were cheap, like really cheap, in this like sale. It was one of those jammer sales. Opening up another one here. Kind of just going to get a few out, at least out of the bags, so we can unwrap them. It's one of these jammer sales where like everything in the jammer is $1 a piece. First people to comment which ones they want, get them. Which I do those type of sales sometimes in my Facebook group, and those sales work out good. You can sell a bunch of stuff for cheap and just getting rid of it. So like they go for it. And let's open up this one first here. The Isuzu Roadside Rescue 555 Rescue. Cool little truck. Matchbox 2000. So it's got plastic base, metal body, a little bit of suspension. Pretty cool. I showed one of these castings in the last weekly video, and I couldn't recall what it was named. I was totally drawing a blank on it. But there she is. Looks pretty good. It's a nice little Matchbox. Next up, we got, Ferrari Testarossa. This one's got a lot of suspension to it too. This one's one of the more premium releases of this car. Number 1 Hot Shot. Little flea bite there. Base doesn't matter though to me. Happy to have it. This is one of those cars. Of course, I collect. I love the Ferrari Testarossa. These Matchbox versions of it are a little bigger than 1/64 scale. It's actually 159 scale. Pretty cool though. So there is that one. Next up. Oh, this is pretty cool. This is the Lotus, right? Yep. Lotus. What is it? Evora. One of those cars. Anyway, it's a nice one. I didn't have it. I don't know if that was available in the Mainline or what. Probably was. I was assuming that would be a Mainline car. I love those Matchbox wheels. These ones right here. These little 5-spokers. Pretty awesome. Definitely dig that car. It's a nice color. It's got the detail where you want it. Headlights, tail detail. Just a nice, very nice looking car. And let's see here. What do we got next? Ooh, Jaguar XJ220. This is a goofy Matchbox casting. Ooh, we're going to have to fix that axle maybe a little bit. Look at how high it's riding in the back. It's got suspension. Probably could still bend that down into shape. Unique New York. Unique New York. All right, so this one, it's got a lot of detail in it. The interior is actually painted. It's got painted detail right there. It's the proper color green. This car, though, definitely could use some help in the axle department. But it's another car that I really enjoy. I love the Jaguar XJ220. So when I see cheap Matchboxes that are available with that, I'm going to grab them because, I don't know, I just kind of like checking them off the list. There's definitely some wacky ones I'll probably never buy, but this one was in a basic color, and I think it was like $1, so had to have it. Just maybe I can fix that back axle. All right, next one. Do the reveal. Ooh, that's a sweet one. So you know what this one is, right? Lamborghini Miura. And she is pretty in gold. Didn't have this in gold. I think I've got it in yellow. I've got it in blue. This is a Matchbox casting I definitely collect, and will get any of them that come out, or any of them that I can find available cheap. It's got, of course, you got taillight detail, you got headlight detail, detail in the right place. This thing's in great shape. It looks good. I'm assuming this is probably mainline material, but just a great looking car in general. Beautiful looking car. The Matchbox Best of World or whatever it was that the Lamborghini Miura came out with, the gold and blue and like the gold wheels and stuff like that. That's like one of the most amazing little cars that has come out recently. You know, you just they got the silhouette of this car mostly correct, and I think it looks just fantastic. So great job, big ups to you, Matchbox, on that one. Let's open one of these ones that came in the box. I could have told him he didn't really need to package these all that well. Alright, so this Matchbox Streakers. Okay, pop this one open. So this is a Ford GT. And there that is. This is another casting I collect. It's pretty cool here with the red, white, and blue livery. It's got those super fast-esque wheels. Of course, it's not actually from that era. I don't know if there's a copyright date on this box. There is not. But these were more of a premium line Matchbox. I don't think these were mainline. They actually came with a box. I'm not super familiar with them. But it does look good. And it's cool. It's just cool to get another GT40 in the collection. And I think this is the GT40 casting, yeah. They do a GT40, and then they do like the 19 or whatever it is, 2005 or whatever Ford GT. So, and their toolings actually look very, very close to each other. This is the GT40 though. And pretty awesome. Awesome to get that. It's super cheap and really good deal. All right, we got another one in a box. And it looks like it's going to be a Viper RT10. Again, I collect that casting. Here it is in blue. Basic tampos. Basic stuff. But basically really cool because, again, I collect this, so it's worth it for me to have it. And I just dig this old Viper RT10 car, and I just think it's really cool, so I kind of go after all the ones I don't have. There are tons of variations of this, by the way, in the Matchbox world. There is a lot. A lot. I got one more in the box, and we got a few more that are wrapped in the towel. Let me get this one open while you're looking at a car. This one is a Corvette Grand Sport. This one's really cool. So out of Corvettes, okay, I'm not a huge Corvette fan. Shout out to Dustin King. But I am a big fan of the Corvette Grand Sport and any iteration of it. I think that it's awesome. Like, I don't really collect like the split window or whatever or any of that from that era, like the 63 or whatever it is. But the Corvette Grand Sport is just a cool race car and just a cool car in general. So I do loosely kind of collect that particular car. And so when I saw this one for cheap, I had to pick it up and grab it. It's just a really cool little Matchbox Corvette Grand Sport in yellow and blue with rubber tires. This was in the Premier Street Machines collection, Series 23 of 6, World Class. So Matchbox, just like Hot Wheels, has had various premium kind of releases over the years with like rubber tires and stuff. Now, their rubber tires weren't always as cool is Hot Wheels. Like, these are just not as cool as real rider wheels, but they are pretty decent. They tend to be really, really wide too, as you can kind of see there. Some of them are worse than others. This is also one of those castings that's kind of large. It's like 1/58 scale, so that era Matchbox kind of made cars that were a little bigger than 1/64, but still a pretty cool little piece. And then let's see here, we got 4 more. All right, let's try to make some room here. Open these baggies. This one's cool. Aston Martin. I think this is the only example of this casting I actually have in my collection. And it's a premium one. It's a pearl white. We got the rubber tires. DB7. My DB7. I like that one. I think that looks really nice, actually. Glad I picked up that one. It's just more and more I've been doing like the Matchbox Monday episodes, and I know I'm not keeping most of the stuff that I'm showing in those episodes, but the more and more I'm getting just kind of into, I don't know, Matchbox. It's just something different. And then here's this. This is a Mitsubishi Eclipse convertible Spider. Just kind of an oddball one. Not super into the real car or anything, just thought it was kind of cool. It was a rubber tires car, and it was like $1, so I'm like, go ahead and pick it up. Again, you can see the tires are so wide, they're sticking out of the side of the body. Look how wide those are. Completely unnecessary, Matchbox. Why did you do that? I'm glad they don't do that anymore. They basically use Hot Wheels style real riders now, which is a good move. On Matchbox's part. So pretty cool. And then plus I don't remember when Mattel picked up Matchbox. It might not have been, they might not have had them then. This is really nice. It's Porsche 911 GT3 and a very nice looking pearl orange. Rims look good. Little flaws in the orange line, but that does not matter to me. It is a good looking casting. This is another casting I definitely collect. That is from an era of Matchbox that I enjoy probably the most. So really, really nice. And then the last one we got right here. That Porsche. And we got another Porsche. So Boxster convertible. It's got some weird number on the bottom. That's cool. The Carrera 911 Carrera Cabriolet. Looks like a Boxster. All right, so this thing is all right too. It's just a basic convertible little Matchbox Porsche. I collect diecast Porsches, as you guys may or may not know, and so I had to pick up this one too. So that's it for the Matchbox. I suppose let's go through those mainline cars really quickly. If you're still around, let's take a look at it. We're going to kind of do a little fast cracking on these. Shout out to Alicio. All right, so we got the Skyline GTR in blue. Pretty cool. I think you've seen it in red probably as well. Then we got this Baja Blazer 87 Dodge D100. Which we've seen in white previous to this. And speaking of white cars, there's your Honda Civic EF. Pick up the regular ones of these too, I guess, if you guys see them, because this car, for some reason, I don't know. The mainline ones from like before this year tend to like kind of fetch a premium, so it is a cool casting, you know. I'm just not super into it. And then we got the another Skyline. So if you watch my video that I got stuff from Travis, I got a Kyosho version of this Skyline that was in black that just looks awesome. this looks pretty good. I mean, Hot Wheels did a good job with this casting, giving it lensed detail up front. I think it looks all right. I mean, this Skyline looks pretty good too. So they're just adding and adding and adding to the Skyline family as they go. I swear I already opened up one of these, and I probably already did. I'll find out when I end up going to put stuff away, but that's like kind of cool. It's like a weathered version of this custom Volkswagen Beetle. This is the newer tooling that's got the roof rack. It does not have a metal base. It's kind of a bummer. And then sticking with the VW for a moment, we got the Volkswagen Käfer Racer in yellow. Moon Eyes. Who doesn't like Moon Eyes livery? I like that they're doing a lot of licensed liveries have been coming out. Moon Eyes, Golf, all that stuff. I'd like to see Auto World do some Moon Eyes cars. That'd be pretty cool. Everybody's jumping on the Golf bandwagon. But honestly, I mean, that Golf color combo, that orange and blue, is just undeniably good looking. That's really kind of what does it. And then here's the Corvette Grand Sport Roadster. I would like to get the Super of this. This is definitely one Super that I would like. And as I had mentioned previously, I collect Corvette Grand Sports. Out of all Corvettes, this would be my favorite Corvette, is the Corvette Grand Sport. Whether or not it's the Roadster version or the hardtop version, doesn't matter. The Roadster version in real life, I believe, is a ton more rare than the other version. And then speaking of other castings, I collect the Ford Torino Talladega. Just love the silhouette of this car. I love the way that the car sits. Normally I'm not like just a huge fan of like lowered cars, but this thing just looks very cool like this. I like it quite a bit. The Torino Talladega looked really good in that 76 livery. That's kind of where I kind of fell in love with the casting. But now, I mean, I'd get it in any time they put it out. I will pick up this mainline car. I think it's great. I would like to see a premium, actually, of this casting. I think that would be cool. If any of you guys think that would be cool, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, premium version of the Torino Talladega I think would be awesome. Pretty sure there's not one yet, so that would be cool. All right. Dodge Charger Daytona. This Dodge Charger Daytona, they've released this as a Super. I have it. They've also released this, or was that the Superbird? Yeah, the Superbird, I think they did the RLC of. That one is fantastic. It would be cool to see an RLC though version or a metal-based version of this one. I think that would be pretty cool too. Maybe to see both the Superbird and the Daytona show up in a car culture series. Possibly with one of these. You kind of know where I'm going here. A little bit of a vintage racing kind of thing going on. I bet you they'll do it. Maybe not with this casting in particular, but I bet you they will do a vintage racing car culture series that will feature some older style, like stock car kind of, or NASCAR kind of stuff, vintage NASCAR-ish, whatever stuff. I'm not really well versed in that racing. I just like the liveries and the looks of the vehicles. I just think they look pretty awesome. And I would love to see a car culture version of that. I know that would go over well. We got the Drake Strip Demons. It would be cool to get a vintage racing. All right, so 18 couple Camaro SS. Picked this one up just because I thought it was kind of cool. I think this is like a version of the car that they were like giving away, the real car. They were giving away a real car of this. I think it was this one. Yeah, maybe not quite with the parachute in the back and the wheelie bar, but it's pretty cool. I'm not a huge fan of the newer Camaros. I've mentioned it before, but I don't know. That one's all right. Looks all right. And then we got the Volkswagen Golf MK2 Mark II Golf. I like this casting. They did a good job with the way this one looks. And I like it in that color quite a bit. This kind of like teal green. The tampo scheme on it's pretty cool. Of course, you got to sacrifice getting front and rear detail for it, but as a mainline car, I think that actually looks really nice. I just like the look of it. That old Golf I do like. I like those old square cars from the 80s, rectangular cars. Maybe some people think are boring looking because they don't have any curves to them or anything, but I kind of like them. So there's that. And then we got our red editions. This is a goofy red edition. Volkswagen Golf GTI. It's like, where's the red? Yeah, there's red in the Momo livery, I guess, which is interesting because the mainline, the regular mainline of it is red. The car is red. You know, your standard Momo livery, and then the red edition is black with a red interior, and I guess there's red on the rims and there's red in the Momo thing, but that's kind of goofy, guys. Don't you think that's kind of goofy? I think that's kind of goofy. This would have been more suited as a red edition. So that's weird. So Target red editions. Find them at Target. If you're lucky. 57 Chevy. That looks more like a red edition with the white, red, and the red windshield. That's classic casting from Hot Wheels. That, you know, it's kind of blah to me. This does look nice though, because it's got a matte finish, red or white, and then the tampos are a little glossy. So that's kind of got a cool look to it. It's something you would never know if you didn't pull out of the package. You wouldn't really be able to tell it was a matte finish because you got the glare from the packaging. Kind of gives it a gloss look. But once you get it out of the package, you notice that it's actually a matte finish, and that actually looks pretty nice. So I like it. All right, and then lastly, definitely one, of course, I would pick up. This is the Lamborghini Revington Roadster Red Edition. It looks fantastic. I'm pretty sure whoever hit this stuff before me only left this behind because it's on a trashed card. Which, thank you, I will take it. That's one good thing about being a loose collector, guys. One definite good thing is it's easier to collect on the cheap, for one. For two, it's easier to, you can trade your friends that are card collectors. If they have something on a bad card and you have something on a good card, they'll make that trade to you, and you can help them out in that fashion. That scores some points. And then you can find, you don't have to care about card condition when you go finding cars in the store. All you have to care about is the way the tampos look and stuff like that. You don't have to worry about, oh, it's got a ding in the card. Meh, big deal. I'm going to open it anyway. So I go after the good-looking cars, not the good-looking cardboard. So doesn't mean you all should be loose collectors. It's just the way I am. It's the way I think. And this car is pretty awesome. It looks great. It is great. I need to get a Kyosho of this, of a Revington. All right, so this is a long video, and I apologize, but if you stuck around to the end, we're going to take one more quick look at that. That beauty. Look at that beautiful car. Yeah, buddy. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart, Suresh. You're just a fantastic human being. Even if, you know, I would say that regardless. I mean, obviously, even he's giving me some pretty cool stuff, so, but he's just a fantastic dude regardless. And that's a neat little grouping of cars right there, folks. And we're going to leave it at that. So thank you guys very much again for watching another weekly video. It's another really sweet one, and really appreciate it. And you guys have a great week. See you in the next one.